Hey everyone, this is episode 80 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is a man in purple, OSG. How's it going, sir?
What up, bro? What up, man? Good, man. Yeah, obviously I have my purple kit on. I just got it this weekend. I went down to the meet the team event, picked up my purple jersey. I'm all good. It was a good little time to drive down to Houston. Freaking cold weekend. Damn outdoor event when it was cold kind of sucked. But autographs were indoor in the East Club. It was all right. The fire sale kind of was boo boo, but whatever. And, it was still fun to get down there and chill, man. What's going on with you?
Man, just jealous I couldn't go. I had a couple things to do here in Austin. But yeah, I really wanted to get the new kit and obviously some of the merch. I did get my friend Tony to get me one of the shirts from the team store, but I was hoping, I was hoping with your help, like at the fire sale, to get me something. But obviously with the time slots, it's all about getting the early ones. So oh well, that's probably next year, hopefully. but yeah. Also here with us tonight is Herman. You may know him from Dinamico. How's it going, sir?
It's going well, guys. Happy to be here tonight with y'all. Talk some Dynamo footy.
Yeah, there's a lot to go on this week. There's a lot of news, and obviously you're gonna definitely talk about the Purple Kid and as well as some rumors that have been floating around just now. But just before we go ahead and get started, we highly recommend tuning into the latest Insta Ramen we did with some of the creators from St. Louis City and Sporting KC, Chris Gebhard and Chad Smith, respectively. It was a big instant ramen. We definitely weren't planning to make it a little bit shorter, but the input was like so great, and just having like a big instant ramen is kind of defeats the purpose of having like a shorter episodes. But
Instant.
it's a great episode. Yeah, talk about instant, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a great way to get up to speed of a season and get to learn about the opponents heading into the opening week. Obviously, we got St. Louis on the first leg on the road on Wednesday, and we do have the MLS opener on Saturday against Sporting KC. So it's a big one. I recommend you tune into that one, and of
Well,
course
if you
yeah.
watch on Wednesday night, you're going to be missing the game. So try to tune in on Tuesday night, the 20th,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to see the game in St. Louis at 7 o'clock, and then obviously the 27th will be 9:30 in Houston, and then like you mentioned, 24th will be 7:30 in Houston, opening day against SKC.
Oh yeah, and also a little towards the end of the episode, we do have the interview with Jose Tellez. He's not only an FC Dallas creator, but also the founder of GOLZTV, which is a platform we're also putting a lot of our content. And I highly recommend checking that interview just to get to learn about GOLZTV and where to catch it. Like as always, you can go to GOLZTV, Goals.tv to catch your content, and also the one from other creators around the league and other divisions in US soccer. So recommend that checking that out as well. And with that out of the way, let's get into the episode, man, because I want to talk about the purple jersey, the Steel Holding kit that launched this week. I'm still waiting for mine. I won't be getting mine for probably like a week or two because I got it customized with Dorsey's numbers. But OSG, you got it right now. Tell me.
I ordered mine on Friday, picked it up on Saturday, customized purple kit. Fits comfortably. I love it. It's purple. It's not blue like you may see in the light right now. But yeah, bro, it's I like it, bro. And the team wore it on the meet the team event on Saturday. They wore it to promote it to get everybody to see it and see what it looks like on the players, and it looks sharp, and I like it, man. I like it, and it is kind of funny because Orlando, with their away jersey, they're kind of white and they have an orange stripe in theirs. So, like it is kind of going to the space cities are fighting each other big time now, or are they twinning with each other? I'm not sure. So maybe we got to do a super collab with Orlando now. I don't know. I'm not sure, but bro, I'm loving it. I'm enjoying the purple. It's going to be fun. I think they're going to use it more than they'll use the black, just because of the prestige behind the purple kit. So look forward to it more this season than others. Than the black was used, and you don't have to use the orange every freaking time now this time. So away game, you're not always orange. You can maybe count on this purple kit, and then there'll be sometimes at home where you have to wear the purple kit too because it interferes with each other. But man, dude, I like it. Get it, enjoy it. If you want the replica, that's fine. Get the replica. You'll miss the stars. I don't know, whatever. Look down on your left side. You got that Houston with the HOU with the text. Stay text. Looks good, bro. So get it, man. Get it. That's the perk. The perk.
No, yeah. The thing about the jog tag, I feel like the screw like over there. I thought it was a nice touch.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. It was a nice jersey, nice put together. It works, and I've had it for 24 hours now. Yeah, even more than 24 hours. I'm still sober. I haven't had to check into rehab or anything yet, so we're good, man. We're good.
Yeah, no ER visits. We're still alive.
Yeah. So if that was your reason for not buying it, it's okay. You were safe. So trust me.
It's just a piece of candy and Sprite. It's all.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like the one thing that I really look forward to, like when a new kit is announced, like it has like a local meaning. Obviously, not just like a generic design, but there's like meaning into it, and just like the way like it references rap culture in the city is something that I'm still getting familiarized with. Like as someone that lived there for a while, it's great. And like and just like that purple color, like I'm a fan of purple, and it's obviously a match made in heaven for me. So I'm still gonna wait for that kit. And obviously we'll see how long they were for this year, because I'm sure it's gonna be a worn, like not just for away games. Um, and yeah, we got that going on, and also this week, the NWSL announced they're gonna be announcing the jerseys from the NWSL teams like in about 2 weeks. Specifically, I think it's Tuesday, February 27th, and obviously that means dash kits, more money to spend, and man, I'm still thinking about like which players to get, because I'm due for a new dash jersey.
I'm right there with you, man. So new dash jersey. So Nike's doing a new concept. So it sounds like they're changing their jerseys. So we're unclear. This is not confirmed yet. But Dash are do a new away jersey regardless. So they're getting the new away. So we don't know if it's going to be the Space City white, Space City blue, or whatever. And then we have the orange. So Dash will continue with the orange tops. There's no hints, there's no leaks. We haven't noticed anything. So Dash will have a new away jersey. Is it going to be purple? Is it going to be white? Will it be blue? We don't know. We're going to have to wait. But that'll be, like you said, February 27th is released. Now, the other thing that we have not confirmed and we've kind of heard rumors about is because the concept is being changed, the home kit will also change as well, which to me, I'm not going to see much difference in the kit variation. I don't know what the concept difference is between previous Nike jerseys to the new Nike jerseys they're having now, but obviously we'll still have our orange home kit, and there's not going to be nothing different besides whatever this concept is that's Nike running. So the away kit will be different. Look forward to a new away kit. There's no leaks that I know of. I hadn't seen nothing, so that'll be the big surprise. And then the home jersey will be our orange, but it'll be a little bit different than if you bought one last year and you're like, oh, my El Sol is different. Yeah, well, they changed the concept. So that's that on the Dash jersey. So I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, on the 27th, which I imagine will be probably about mid-afternoon, they'll start coming out with all the jersey drops, which is perfect because we have the Dynamo game later that night. We'll be busy watching. So I'm kind of want to get hyped up with that jersey drop first.
No, yeah, the jersey, the away kit, it's gonna be Space City blue, because we're way overdue now, and we need a new design. And that's one of the ones that I've been wanting to get for the Dash. I got the orange one last year, and with all the DC signs going out, especially from Nike, and the way they've been trying to like to get better designs or just rather have like a better jerseys out there. I feel like we're overdue for like a pretty unique design, especially with the colors we have.
And it all depends on who told him about the purple, who told Ted about the purple, who told Ted about the blue. So, what is the dash concept going to be for the city, or are they going to follow suit? We are one team, one goal, but they are trying to differentiate from the boys at the same time, to where they're not like piggybacking off the Dynamo. They are the Houston Dash, and the Houston Dynamo are the Houston Dynamo. It's not the Houston Dynamo and the Houston Dash. It's the Houston Dynamo, the Houston Dash, the Houston Dynamo Dose, and the Houston Dynamo Dose, because technically they are the and. But so Dash is trying to differentiate. So I would not be surprised if they did purple as well, but I'm kind of like with you. I want to see that Space City blue, where it's just a light blue, but at the same time, I think the orange is considered a light, so they're going to need a dark version. I don't know, because they have a white right now. So interesting to see. You know what? You'll just have to wait, and I guarantee a leak will come out before that. So we'll find out a few days before. Maybe not. You won't hear on the episode, but you know where to follow us, and you'll hear about it. And I'll make sure to post it on the damn Facebook group too. So yeah, y'all come into the Discord on Twitter.
Two quick things. If there is a leak, we'll also share it on our Instagram page at Dynamic Foxtrot. So you'll see it there as soon as the leak comes out. Two, personal opinion. I hope it's the Space City Blue because of what OSG said. I feel like the Dash can distinguish themselves from the Dynamo by doing the Space City Blue, because you saw in Houston professional sports earlier this year, U of H, Rice, the Rockets did it 2 years ago. They're trying to bring that Oiler blue, and I know that Oiler blue is like controversial, so it'll create some attention towards the Dash, and it'll distinguish itself from the purple. So I part of me is cheering for the Space City blue, aside that it looks really, really good.
Oh yeah, and I think the Texans are doing something with that color too, but fingers crossed with that.
We'll see that release as well when it happens. So
oh yeah.
So yeah, so a lot of jersey talk, a lot of money to throw around. I'm looking forward to it. And with that, we also got the fire sale that happened this week. I think I've heard like a lot of feedback, mostly controversial. I wasn't there to like to tell, but what I've seen from like there's been like a lot of news going out because of a conversation with Ben Olsen and the team just being in front of the people that attended. But obviously OSG went, and it's definitely better to have that feedback from there. So OSG, what can you tell us?
What about
it? What upset you, OSG?
Nah, so the fire sale started at 2:00 or whatever the hell they're calling it now. Started at 2:00.
Noon.
Huh?
They had time slots earlier than 2:00, but go ahead.
Did they really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that answers. Well, then that answers every question right there, because I got there at like 1:00 and went into the stadium. We were setting up for the meet the team event, but yeah. So by the time I got my 340, there was nothing but shorts.
Yeah.
There were training tops. There was even some some women's fit shit, but it had no logo on it. It was just plain black. And like, what was it? What is this? Throw this away. This has got someone's dirty scoochie on it. So throw this away. But yeah, man, it was just by the time I got there was nothing there. There was nothing left. So if it was a good fire sale, it was like the end of the tier, the end of the market. It looked like the Dynamo the shorts that were there were all new logos there. They weren't old logos, so you weren't finding the old logos. So, like I bought a pair of 34 Dynamo shorts. So obviously, I got Thor's last streak, and they're mine now. I did get some Dash shorts, but as I was looking at them even longer, I was like, these are a little bit too short. So I guess I'll just wear them around the house by myself, so my butt cheek doesn't hang out too far. I got like a little Dash training top, so I was happy about that. Where I got a shirt that said Dash because all I have is a jersey and all I have is a Price Sock signed jersey for Dash. I don't have really much else. So there was just nothing, bro. There was just nothing. There was nothing, and I haven't seen anybody on Twitter because I don't really scroll Twitter a lot to see like something that was too special. But I've seen some good items that were there. I know a lot of bobbleheads were there early, and they were paying for those bobbleheads and. So, but yeah. I look forward to next year's because with the Dash doing the Nike concept change, there should be a lot of jerseys next season. So, make sure when that fire sale releases, you get the earliest time slot possible ever.
The coolest thing I've seen so far is, those field seatings, those folding chairs,
Oh, the stadium seats.
the stadium seats.
Yeah,
but
those were
but
$20.
not the stadium seats, like the foldable chairs, and
Yeah,
they have
padded
cup
ones.
holders. Yeah, the padded ones. Yeah,
the gray ones. Yeah, those were $20 a piece. So they were
Yeah.
cheap, and people were
that's not bad.
struggling carrying those out too.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
but your experience, OSG, is the same one I had the past 2 years. I did not go to this year's because when I logged on to the sign up, the time slot, the earliest slot that I saw was 11, and it was all the way booked up until 6 o'clock. So I'm hoping that the early slots were for like season ticket members or something like that. But I didn't go this year because the experience you had this year was my experience the past 2 years. The way they organize it with time slots.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I did go to the one last year, and pretty much the key of like going to the fire sale and getting the merch you want is getting the earliest time slot, and because with the way you told me, like people from the early time slots would just like take up everything, like hog everything, either because they enjoy it or just like to sell it later on eBay. But yeah, it's just it was kind of a mess last time I went because I was specifically looking for Dynamo 2 gear and like a tank top, and all the good stuff was gone. Obviously, Dynamo 2 gear is gonna be tough to find, but still, like you have to get the early one, the early time slots to get the good stuff.
Y'all help me remember. I recall going to Houston Sports Park for this fire sale, and actually, like there was a lot of stuff there to buy. Or was it always at Shell?
It also was a show, at least
Okay.
in my experience.
Okay, I'm tripping.
No, yeah, like at the show there were open practices though. HSP.
That's what it was. It was an open practice, and they had a mini fire sale on the side.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been to those, but I think the last one I don't think there was a one made for like a few years now. I think.
Right.
Yeah, so the fire sale was a fire sale, man. What do we got next? Let's move on for that shit. Because the fire sale, the fire sale burnt out.
Oh yeah, we can get into the news actually because we got a lot of news to talk about.
Let's go.
Gabe Segal official now. He's coming to Houston from New York City FC. Houston traded out a third round pick for the 2025 MLS Super Draft, and New York City also keeps a percentage of it for his future transfer if he manages to leave the league. And yeah, we did talk a little bit about this in the last episode, the last Noodle Time, and this is pretty much just like definitely striker position because we're gonna need it for sure. And yeah, but he's gonna come off the bench. I hope he scores the goals, and I hope he's ready to run because like Ben also is gonna be on his side for sure.
Yeah, if you listened to the last episode, you already know what we said about Gabe Segal, so that's what I got to say about it. Next, come on.
Oh yeah, again, he's not related to Ted Segal, so don't worry about that.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And I did see him in person there at the meet and greet, and he is an active person, a very sociable person, and it looks like he's going to be a great interviewist. Just like kind of Tate Smith is like a people person and eccentric and out there and outgoing. So look forward to those two guys taking a mark. And Dorsey with the biggest yell of all the people that got introduced yesterday, and so enjoy that and be ready for that.
Oh yeah, and also this mostly has to do with Dynamo 2. but Diego Gonzalez did resign for 2 years. A 21-year-old Dynamo Academy midfielder that has been having a good time with Dynamo too. Like if you watch their games, he's pretty much like one of their best players right now, and I look forward to like his progress because this kid has it. Like, is he gonna be ready like for the first team at some point soon? I'm not sure yet, but man, he's got the talent. He's got everything like he needs, and I hope to see him with the first team one day because he, like every time I watch his games, like he's just like everywhere.
Well, if I remember correctly, it's a 1-and-1 deal. It's a 1-year contract with a 1-year option, and I think that's when I saw that I was like, okay, that's kind of smart because we want to. I think he's going to be good enough, and he's going to get that opportunity that you're talking about with the first team, and he's probably going to see it this season as well, with as many games and as much time as going on. They're going to have to give it to him, and they're going to have to use him at some point. And if not, then they'll, like next year they'll be like, hey, we used you, so decline your option, and we're going to give you a first team contract. And so I look forward to that. And he's a specialist as well as a free kick specialist. He can hit those targets. He's a stud, bro. He's not something to just to forget about. So watch him on Donna Dose and look forward to him making a first team debut at some point this year and hopefully being the guy that's on the bench next year. And maybe this will be a Brooklyn Reigns and Diego Gonzalez takeover eventually in the future whenever Arthur and Ache and Coco move on for the team.
Oh yeah, and with that, we're about to get into rumor territory because there's been a few rumors floating around this weekend. The first one being Seva Kovacic. There's a rumor that started today, actually, or at least started floating around. Today.
They're both today.
Gotcha. No, yeah. So the first one being Seva Kovacic, apparently Legia Warsaw back in Poland. They're apparently wanting to start a negotiation process with Seba to bring him back to Poland, and obviously this caught off Twitter off guard, and a lot of people are complaining about it. And I haven't really heard this up till today, and it puts the Dynamo in an interesting position because we need all of that right now, and letting him go, I feel like it's a bad call.
All right, so a little clarification. It sounds like the team approached the Dynamo and Seba themselves. This was a surprise to Seba that they were interested, and it was not him reaching out to them. So it's something that if it intrigues Seba enough to go back to Poland, or if the money's right, which I don't think there could be enough money for them to offer a transfer fee because just going off of what we paid for him to come here. So I'll say it has no traction right now. Yes, it's a rumor. We'll see where it goes. But also, I believe the Polish transfer window closes on the 27th, so they have a week and a half as well to figure this out. So this will be a curious week to see what goes on between Dynamo and Seba, and if anything starts to leak out between that. But otherwise, I think we're okay, so we don't need to panic. We don't need to worry about it, guys. Just chill out. I posted a question on Twitter today, and I just kind of posted Twitter. Wasn't a lot of context, and there wasn't a lot of I didn't say, hey, how we felt or whatever. But relax. I don't think Seba's going anywhere. It's just a rumor right now, and that's as far as it's gone. The water's not even boiling yet. It's not even in the pot yet. They're getting the pot onto the oven, and that's as far as the negotiations have gone. Not even negotiations.
Just to get the water a little bit heated, though, I did translate that article that the report came out of, and it stated that Warsaw sold their creator, quote unquote, because they had a good offer that they couldn't turn down for 10 million. Dynamo paid $500,000 for sale, so they're just negotiating. Ironically, Warsaw, I believe, is in 6th place right now, and the team that sold Sebas to us is right above them at 5th. So it'd be kind of messed up.
Yeah,
we take the player, flip it for a profit, and we sold it to your rival. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Keep an eye on for sure.
And just looking at both sides, really, like it's bad if he leaves right now because we kind of need him as available, just like with the way the roster is set up. But on the other hand, if you let him go, that means they're gonna overpay for him just because we just acquired this player and just to move him back like in the middle of his contract, they're gonna have to shell out a lot of money. And obviously, with that, money goes to the club, and also that's gonna open up this cap space, which can also like create more possibilities for Dynamo to bring someone in. And it's just like an interesting situation. And also that goes into the next rumor, which we're gonna get into. But just thinking about it, like there better be a lot of money. That's all I want. Like if it happens, because I feel like right now, like they need to show a lot of money for it to happen.
You can't turn it down, right? If you get an offer for a lot of money, you can't turn it down. I know you need the debt, but you can't turn it down.
Right. No, yeah, that was the first rumor. The second one, it actually just started floating around as soon as we started recording, and we had to add it just now. But Inter Miami, back at it again. So apparently they're interested in bringing in Franco Escobar, and they just started negotiations. Just according to this rumor that I just retweeted from Merlo, he's like the Latin American Fabrizio Romano. You know who he is, and yeah, like it goes back to the conversation we just had. Hey, show me the money, and I'm sure Inter Miami has a lot of it.
I'm okay with that. Back up the brakes truck, baby. Back it up. OSG, you obviously don't feel the same way. Let me hear it, baby.
Nah, well, I mean, just everything's just the opposite, man. Like so, like Escobar is a solid left back piece for us, and I know we got Tate. You know, I know we got some other potential over there on the left side, but geez, man, like solid. You can count on the man. You can count on him to get a yellow card a game as well. And like he even gets in the box and scores. Like, but I mean, and so like, and it's not like you're selling him out of the conference, out of the league. You're selling him in the league. Granted, you're not going to play Miami until the MLS Cup final, so that's the only time you're going to get to face Escobar. So it's really not going to hurt us in the short term. But that's a player that's beneficial and helpful to us right now. So I don't know. It's like Seba hasn't been utilized with us yet, but he's important, and we know we need him for the depth, and he maybe need to be playing. Escobar, he is the starter, and he is the piece. And we're going to have to rely on somebody coming back from an injury and brain farting who the other guy who the actual guy is behind Escobar on the left side right there. But whatever. Pay us, fine. Let's go. Pay us. And then I'm gonna whoop Messi. Make sure you play when we play you, bro. I don't want you sitting out pretending you're hurt. Whatever. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
No, yeah, and honestly, like the way the news sounds, like it's in its early stages, so it's not like it's materializing or anything. But if you ask me, like in between losing Seva or Franco Escobar, who hurt the most, it's definitely Franco because like he just showed up last year and just really like stepped up big time for the team, and like 2/3 of the season for sure, and just missing his is like obviously just his experience like in the league. It's gonna be like a big deal for at least the Dynamo to try to replace. And obviously the cap space is there. Like if he leaves, and we can just add more players because of like just the amount of, well, not even like in his current position, just because of like the roster we have right now, but stuff that he can just improve on the roster, like at least like a Patton Asher. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I think people are upset and not losing Franco per se, but the fact that the team hasn't signed replacements. Right. That's what mounts the frustration.
Right.
Think about it from a GM standpoint. You took a free agent that was damaged goods. He earned his playing time last year, raised his value, and now he's getting bought for some money. That's a freaking W. Yep. Yes. OSG touched on a great point. You're going to replace him with Schmidt, who's coming back from injury. That's risky, but before the injury, he was having a great season.
Yep.
And then we already have context clues.
Before the great season, he was just Tate Smith.
Right. Then we have context clues from Mexico that you see Sargent being involved in the preseason, right? So you kind of maybe already have your two replacements in a healthy competition. Yes, it's a drop off, but it's a move that you got to take if they're overpaying for what he's worth. Like, it's disappointing because we haven't brought any signings, but you flip the damaged asset into some actual money and provide flexibility for your roster build as well. You have to do it. I know it hurts, but you got to do it.
Look, everything that's just the lack of bricks that are being brought to the construction yard. It just means the summer is going to be a hell of hot, and there's going to be moves. And we're going to make some moves. And Pat is just still fixing everything and making everything sure, and so that your concrete has got the right mixture in it, and your house is not going to fall apart as you're trying to continue to build it, and you're adding another story to another story to another story. So yeah, be patient, y'all. These moves out are going to hurt, and it's going to be a slow start to the season. But at the same time, the window closes in April, and then 2 months later, it opens again. So we're going to be okay. You got the summer window. We'll work on it, and then we'll make a run towards the end of the season. When that summer window opens, we'll go kill it and win Leagues Cup. We'll finish off an Open Cup, and then we'll finish off in the MLS, and we'll go beat Inter Miami and Inter Messi and Escobar, and he'll have to go get a new tattoo, and then we'll tell him, no, you can't come back and kiss our ass. You stay over there.
And that's an excellent point, OSG. You can't build or you can't overhaul a roster in just one window, right? So maybe this window, the mentality is, let's create as much flexibility. Let's know what our cap situation is going to be. We can plan for these 2 months. So when the summer window opens, we got an attack plan and we know who we're targeting. So be patient, people. Be patient. It's not sexy, but be patient.
Yeah, and we'll definitely stay tuned to that. I'm sure there's going to be like more stuff coming in the next couple of weeks, even after the start of the season. And yeah, with that, we can still continue with the other news that happened last week. The one that was kind of surprising was Will Bruin retiring from professional soccer. Will Bruin, the third highest all-scoring team in Dynamo history, and obviously he's a kind of controversial player, especially in the last few years. He was with Dynamo at the early 2010s, but a lot of people have good memories of him, so he's gonna honor him as much as possible. And yeah, like he was talented. Like obviously when his first few years with Dynamo, he got the goals in, but yeah.
The bear can go into hibernation. Thank you. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
Come on, OSG. He scored some playoff goals for us, Come on, brother. Show the man some love. We drafted him.
Healthy retirement.
Oh, man.
That's all I got for him, man. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Bruin.
I think you are scarred when he left us, and then he scored on us when he played for Seattle, in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. Who?
All right. Next.
Yep.
Alrighty. Last one, and I feel like this is gonna affect us in a bad way. But pro referees and MLS. The collective bargaining agreement in between the pro referees and MLS was rejected, meaning that pro referees are going to be locked out of the league, and the season is going to start with replacement referees.
Breaking news, I was assigned to be the center of the first game in Houston on the 24th against SKC. So
very nice.
There's your replacement referees. So
I'll be VAR.
It may be better. It may be worse. We'll look whichever way. Who cares what money the referees are making? What needs to be improved are the situations that occur in the game that could have easy solutions to, and then we move on. And we could talk about referees for days. So that's pretty much all I'm going to have to say about it. Is just pay them or fix them or whatever, and then y'all work on the training and the tangibles and the definitions of the rules, and then the usage of VAR and how VAR can be used properly. Make sure you got the goal line technology and this and that, and injuries, and then the way that the General Hospital comes on this TV on the show whenever you're trying to watch soccer. Just work on some rules that can just help improve the game instead of them rolling around for 10 minutes because they got tackled hard but they're not hurt. It just slows the game down and interferes the game, and then they just add it to the end of the game, and they bitch whenever you added 10 minutes to the end of the game. But bro, you rolled around for 10 minutes, and if you were so hurt, you wouldn't have been rolling around that way. I think you hurt yourself when you were rolling around, to tell you the truth. But yeah, shit like that. So that's all I got to say about the referees. They'll be back at some point.
No, yeah, the thing for me is just like an issue when it comes to not just how much they're getting paid, but rather accommodations. Obviously, the travel comes to mind, training, the things what you just mentioned, and there isn't much clarity when it comes to like what things are being adjusted and what things are for the benefit of the referees and MLS, as we all know, like it's just like a business at this point, and it's just trying to really, like, we're not sure if they're like on the same side of the referees, because it's clearly proven that they something is not working out, and even though the terms are not clear as far as we know, that I'm sure this is like an issue, a disagreement that both parties are having issues with.
Yeah, and like both of you touched, hopefully they come to an agreement where they take care of the employee, being the refs, in terms of paying and accommodations, but hopefully they also give them the tools to be successful at their job, right? More training, the resources like OSG was talking about, the goal line technology, the VAR, the people in the booth helping the referee. Hopefully all of those come out of this disagreement, and we get that negotiation sooner rather than later. I know all of us complain about the refs, but you don't know what you have until you lose it. So we about to find out how worse it can get.
Well, it was over 95% disapproval rating, as not rating, but whenever they voted to agree with the union. So we're way off right now. So we may not be sooner than later. We may be later than sooner
Or
for them
sooner
agreeing.
and sooner,
yeah, later than sooner. Yeah. So they gotta figure it out. So whatever. Boom. I don't care. Red card to the pro referees.
Well, yeah, we'll just have to see in the opening day this Saturday. We'll be there.
This Saturday for sure. You know it. You know I'll be there. You can find me. So since we're at that point, you can find me at pitch on Saturday at 4:30. So a couple other people, secret knowledge, not really secret, but you'll know where to find me during the middle of the day, right there in the early afternoon, in the morning. You'll know where to find me where I'm at before that. But otherwise, I'll see you at pitch at 4:30 for pregame, and then the Dynamo at 7:30. Old Soccer Guy on Twitter. Noodle Tempio on Twitter as well. Old Soccer Guy on Instagram. Well, that's how you follow me. That's what's up.
And there's a good chance I'll be sitting next to OSG at pitch 25. And yeah, you'll say hi. Like we'll won't bite this time, but but yeah. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this one. Stick around for the interview.
Does Herman have any final words before we close out the episode and just say bye? I mean, slam the door. Jesus Christ. No, all right, I'm just kidding, Fox. But hey, Herman, bro, what's going on with you, man? Like, I mean, what's up with Dynamico? Where can we find Dynamico? And you got anything planned? And before we head out and knock this episode out.
Yeah, big love to our fans here at Foxtrot. Roshan, I love the way he gets excited about Dinamico.
Shout out to Roshan, yeah.
Yeah, for real.
But no, excited to be part of the Foxtrot network. Like OSG says, I'm one of the two hosts for Dinamico, the Spanish broadcast or podcast for your Houston Dynamo. You can find me on Twitter at El Dinamico _GB and the same name on Instagram. So same platform as Foxtrot. We're on Spotify, YouTube, wherever. Just bringing you the content in Spanish. Love you guys.
Oh yeah, and it's one of the things that I'm starting to also stay more involved with. Obviously, with the schedule that I have, I've tried to make 2 more episodes for Dinamico, but it's a good time, so I highly recommend tuning in. But yeah, guys, we got the interview with Jose Tellez coming up, so stick around. Alrighty, guys, so here we are back with OSG and Herman, and here with us tonight is going to be Jose Tellez from GOLZTV. How's it going, sir?
I'm good, man. Thank you all for inviting me. And look, I know it's not easy. I'm a Dallas fan. I'm an FC Dallas fan specifically. Chopping it up with a bunch of Houston Dynamo fans on a Sunday night. I can't complain, man. I can't complain. The season's right around the corner. Man, I'm super pumped. But again, putting the Derby banter aside, I'm really glad to be here, gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, you mentioned real quick, Fox. You mentioned you're Dallas. Okay, you're Dallas rep. All right. And we'll get into why you're here on the show. But I also saw from our friends at Designated Players podcast, who we were also on, did an episode with you and is going to release here pretty soon. So I'll be very interested, and I'll be listening to that episode and be intrigued to see what Dallas provides this season, and then just to make sure they're going to still stay behind us in the standings at the end of the story.
Oof, OSG, you might be upset this season. I gave a nice little preview for the Designated Players. Yeah, friends of both of our shows and the GOLZTV platform. Man, Houston, it's not even through any fault of your guys' own. It's just you guys had the worst luck going into a regular season, probably with players and talent. On the other end of the spectrum, right, you got Dallas, who's looking really good in preseason, added a massive piece in the offseason, and didn't really lose anybody. So I'm ecstatic. Now, with that said, receipts are receipts, right? I could, easily put my foot in my mouth, and we'll see how everything pans out in the regular season. But for a team that always makes playoffs for the most part and didn't really lose anybody, kind of leveled up, I have no choice but to be excited. Like I feel like we're gonna top Austin. Houston's our biggest hurdle. I don't know, man. This could be the year where Dallas, has that contender title behind them. But we'll get there. It's a long season.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, and that preview between like both teams, like a Capitan preview, can just be like its own episode, its entirety, because we can definitely go back and forth.
Yeah, but y'all look forward to that in April.
Yeah,
in April, y'all. Promise.
It's coming.
Yeah, you calm down over there.
It'll be over here pretty soon. But
coming to your high school stadium of a concert. No, shit. My bad. All right.
Says the Shell Energy guy. Interesting. All right, let's go.
Let's go. So Jose is here because we've started working with him last year with GOLZTV, which is a new platform for a lot of soccer content creators like we are. And at the beginning, it was a platform that I never really heard of, mostly because it was brand new. And like Jose actually reached out to us and his team as well about the platform and how it started and what it wants to be in the future and where it is right now. Even though it's been 1 year, like I've already seen the development and the strides they're taking to improve over time. But the one thing that I really want people to know is what GOLZTV is all about. So Jose, can you tell like pretty much everyone what GOLZTV is and what the goal is?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like that use of a pun right there. Yeah, man. Look, I think to quickly summarize GOLZTV, man, we're on a mission. I constantly say this. One day I'm going to get T-shirts with this made on it at some point, I'm sure. But I want to make soccer cool in America. Like that is the mission I am on. Cool in every sense of the word, man. I remember, growing up with, just having this massive appreciation for European soccer and wishing America would embrace it that way one day. Not exactly, right? But I mean, even being Mexican American, seeing what my parents, the way that they support, their Liga MX clubs and, and everything else, right? It just felt like we were in the one part of the world that didn't have appreciation for this sport on a massive level. And so, man, when I decided this is something I wanted to try and build, pull off, I had no idea what it could look like long term. But I know that content creators are the future of this sport in a massive way. I wanted to bring them all to one place, one destination where, at a minimum, you could find a little bit of content regarding every club that North American fans would appreciate, whether you're an MLS fan, a USL fan, a Liga MX fan, maybe you're a Canadian soccer guy, I don't know. But the goal would be to bring as many creators and content to one place that builds up some kind of a culture around this game here in the States. Because while I love guys like ESPN and Sky Sports and Fox and all the legacy media that's out there, right? I think we're reaching a point where they just are not as knowledgeable about this game, at least when it comes to our clubs, as the fans are. The fans who follow every blog, every content creator, every knowledgeable piece of information out there and person out there, I don't know if the ESPNs in the world can compete long term. You're just not going to be as invested into these individual clubs and communities as we are. And so I think GOLZTV can be that, right? A one-stop shop for every North American fan to find something they love, discover a new creator, discover a new fan they can connect with. But on a deeper level, man, I want it to be like, I want everybody to feel like a member of something that helps drive the culture of soccer in this country. That's really at the end of the day is what I'm trying to build. With that said, man, we met, Andres, we remember, like in the earliest days, the platform had barely existed. We had just kicked it off the ground. I talked to you because I felt like Foxtrot Media were doing things around not just the Houston Dynamo, but the Dash and the broader Houston area when it comes to soccer that others just weren't doing, right? They were exclusively covering the Dynamo, and they weren't worried about NWSL or Next Pro or anything else. You guys are not just covering all this in English, you're doing it in Spanish too. I feel like you guys had something that more Houston fans needed to be aware of, and that other creators and fans across the country should try to emulate over time, right? And so that's why I reached out. It was a shot in the dark. I didn't even know if you would get what we were trying to build here, and look at us now, months and months later. Hopefully we're driving as much value to you guys as we possibly can over time, and hopefully we're doing that with every one of the creators who are on our platform. But when it comes to Houston Dynamo content, when it comes to Houston soccer content in general, there's no one that we would rather put in front of the fans, and we're hoping that more and more soccer fans continue to catch on to what we're trying to build and some kind of a culture around this sport here in the States.
That totally makes sense. And man, I appreciate you for reaching out to us. And I hope we can continue this and this continue to grow. And it's been blowing up pretty fast. I know Andres can say that out of his own words, but it's been blowing up pretty fast in front of him. And we're just having a hell of a time and enjoying covering Dynamo and, like you said, Dash and Dose, and just going to every game and watching every game and, man, making away trips and just going up to Dallas and getting a win up there and going to Austin and getting a win over there. But, man, I appreciate you reaching out. And I'm really getting what's going on over there with GOLZTV, and I'm hoping that we can provide as well. And I'm hoping that people can see and come join the party with us and be like, hey, and talk to us and let us know, give us their what they think of the show, and just start talking to us, and because we reach out and we want to know what the people think a lot. So we'll keep it up, and man, thank you.
Yeah, and absolutely, man. And look, and just to piggyback on that, right? Like, for those who aren't aware, you're tuning in and maybe you think, Foxtrot Media is just this pod or whatever the case may be. There's audio content, there's written content out there. There's so much that you guys are doing, and that's another big reason why I launched this, right? It wasn't just to make it convenient for the growing soccer fan base to find everybody. It's so that you could dive a little bit deeper into what any one of these fans and content creators are doing, right? You guys are putting in a ton of work. I mean, we all saw what happened, before the 2023 season, right? When SB Nation kind of just shut down all MLS media coverage before Apple TV acquired everything. That was a pretty big blow. That was a pretty big blow to the soccer community, especially those who, really tune in and rely on that content to be knowledgeable before the season starts or even during season. So that's, to me, it's a massive kind of use case, right? For like why I want something like this to exist. Is it going to change a ton along the way? 100%, right? And I think, guys like you, like Foxtrot Media, you're going to help us shape it, right? I mean, users are going to tell us and tell you guys what they want to hear, but you're also going to tell us where we go with the platform next. What other types of content are you guys creating that we can highlight? And the space is going to change over time, right? MLS is going to get bigger. American soccer will get bigger. You guys might start offering more forms of content that you do now. And we're just hoping that we can keep up along the way, that fans can keep up along the way. But man, I got a feeling for those who haven't tuned in to everything else that's going on over here, stateside, soccer-wise, it's probably going to be the most exciting season in a long time. Not just for every creator who's already building audiences here, but anybody who's just now jumping on the bandwagon. I think there's going to be a massive season on multiple league fronts ahead of us in 2024. It's going to be fun.
But yeah, and the one thing I wanted to add as well is pretty much what you just said. When it comes to creators, they're pretty much just like carrying the coverage for, I think, most of the markets here in the U.S. and we do have like dedicated soccer coverage in a national level, but for the most part that I've seen, like I have like a subscription to the Athletic, and again, and I also like try to like stick around to when it comes to the women's soccer side, and even though the coverage is pretty good, they mostly just lean towards what's the hottest thing going on when it comes to like the teams that are just like successful consistently, and same goes for the women's side. And I feel like when it comes to women's soccer, obviously they're get like a dedicated coverage for each team, but just that's the coverage of like what's like the hot thing, pretty much like what's going on in the men's, and independent creators like we are, like it's just they're just carrying all this weight because they're obviously they're fans, they're doing this in the free time, but when it comes to them specifically, like I feel like they're like the best source because it's since there's not like a dedicated journalist for most of them to just like to experience like each game, like understand what the team's going through. I feel like the fans have that advantage of like understanding what's going on instead of like having that person covering a team on from the outside, just from like, the national level, and really like that's one of the things that kind of inspired me because like when I started like Foxtrot just like years ago, it really sucked because like we had like when I started we had like one or two beat reporters. Next thing you know, like a few years later, they're gone because of issues with like their platforms, particularly local media, newspapers, really, and it really sucked because like at that time we also had like a lot of podcasts going on when it comes to Dynamo coverage, and they pretty much just like over time they just fell through because it's a big commitment, and I definitely understand like it, things in life change, and doing this for free is obviously like a big task, and for me it's just like I've always wanted to create something, and I just feel so great just doing this on a weekly basis, just sharing my thoughts with everyone else, and just being that representative for the team. And we're in a pretty good spot too because like by the time we started, like more creators came over, Dynamo and Dash creators alike, and I'm also proud of like the people that are just like are doing this like just for passion because they really care for the teams, and they just and the thing I like to tell them is like to keep going as much as you want. Obviously, like I said previously, stuff in life changes, and I perfectly understand why. But if you commit, they just keep going and keep going. Especially with like the way the team is set up. Obviously, going back to the last 10 years, just being horrible. Like for me, it was special because obviously the team is on the right track now, and it's important to keep them covered. And the one thing about GOLZTV, obviously you told me this when we were brought over, and the one thing that I think it has an advantage of everyone else is just the fact that it can be this place of like having all these creators to discover each other, and obviously expand because they can invite each other to their own shows, kind of like what we're doing with Jose right now, and it's like a good bridge that, and really I feel like it may not really reach that level of mainstream like YouTube is. Obviously that's like a different level, but I feel like it can have like its own thing going. So would you think that that's the thing that Ghost is looking for?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think, what you mentioned towards the end right there and comparing us to what exists today in the market is probably the best way to look at it. But for anybody who's never heard of us, right, is, what is Goals TV? Is it a streaming platform? Is it, is it a membership for soccer fans? Like, what is it? And I think, yeah, we're not trying to be a YouTube. Keep in mind, right? Like, YouTube is a massive search engine. I don't consider it a streaming platform. It's not a ESPN Plus or Netflix or anything else, right? It's where you go to quickly find something you're looking for, or go down a content rabbit hole to learn about something. But it's a search engine, right? It's a video form of a search engine. I think because we use YouTube heavily here at Goals TV, right? Soccer content's still pretty niche in this country. You do have to look for it, and I think with our platform, we're ultimately trying to build long term. Is, I think, for lack of a better word, like a membership for soccer fans. I think it starts with video content. I think it starts with us having some like tangible functionality, right? Like, oh, hey, at a minimum, we're a one-stop shop to find creators, content, and fans who like what you like and think like you think. But out of looking long term at a very high level, we want to go way deeper than that, right? Like you mentioned before, the collaboration piece. I didn't even think that would pop up as a benefit this early. I really thought that it would take, maybe even years before that type of incentive or benefit of the platform kind of popped up. But it did, right? We're proof of this right now as we record. But at the same time, there are, you mentioned designated players. There's I-80 Sports, We Are Austin TV. All these guys are finding ways to collab with each other ahead of the 2024 season today. It's happened the last few weeks. And, we like to think that we had a small hand in that, right? But long term, we want to be able to just offer soccer fans more than just content, right? Can we bring them experiences? Can we bring them other types of membership benefits that keep them here, even if their favorite content creator leaves the platform one day, right? Can we get them to, translate their online experiences, right? Just hanging out, watching videos, learning about the game, to going to a game in your market, going to an MLS game, going to a USL game, cementing that experience, right? Can we one day pull off an event that brings all of these creators and all of these fans together, like TwitchCon, and everybody gets to meet their favorite creator, shake their hands, take a picture, right? All of those things are on like the long-term roadmap of what we want to do and who we want to be. But before we get there, right, we got to prove that this is content soccer fans want to watch. These are creators that can bring a new audience into this game while it's still growing, while it's still maybe a top 5 sport and not a top 2 sport. So there's a long way to go. There's a long path ahead of this sport in general. But the beauty of all this is, right, we're having a conversation during the most exciting time to be a soccer fan ever in this country, ever. We're not, like 2024 Copa America is going to be here before we know it, right? And MLS will still somehow continue on. We'll still have games for MLS during Copa America, but it's happening, right? The Euros are right after that. That's not happening here, but it's a tournament that could quickly follow up Copa America. Then you have the Club World Cup 2025 next year, and then we all know the World Cup's coming in 2026. I mean, we're never going to have a bigger opportunity to just massively level up the culture of football or soccer in this country. And I think that, at Goals TV, we have a responsibility to do that as well as we can. But I think that's true of any content creator who's putting a ton of content like you guys are on the internet today. I think the next few years are going to be wild. And so I'm really, really excited for it, man.
Well, and to ask you real quick, and I know Herman's got a question that he wants to follow up with you. Your MLS, for at least for MLS, we're about MLS, MX and Canada, but you have all 29 teams on your platform on Goals TV that people can go follow and look for content.
Almost. We're very close. I think some of that is probably due to certain markets not having a ton of, very high quality content creators, right? The other part could just be that some of these expansion teams are just not taking off with content like others are. Some of them are actually MLS 1.0 clubs, right? Like the OGs who just maybe don't have a big market for their sport, and it's harder to find content creators. But I guarantee by the end of the 2024 season we will. I would say we're probably 60 to 70% into the 29 team league, right, in terms of content creator representation from each club. But there's a few more that we have to get, and I think we're going to definitely have that selection available on GOLZTV by the end of the 2024 season. So we'll see how it all pans out.
I got you. Some of their names are in my book.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, and all that means is like I got to go out, especially as these games happen, right? There's going to be big upsets in MLS this season. You know, when I think for some of those markets who don't have like a ton of content creators, I think that's going to change dramatically. I think people are going to start to see that there's a real opportunity to build an audience in a market that doesn't really exist yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Ramon, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
I was. My question was, you touched on it. It's harder for a big network such as ESPN, to dedicate resources to cover strictly a team heavily. But that's where we come in, right? Because we have the passion, we love the team. And for us here at Foxtrot, we try to do it professionally and not be biased, even though at times, that's hard.
It's very hard.
But I think that's why this platform is sustainable, right? Because those corporations, at the end of the day, they're a business as opposed to us. Hey, we're doing this out of passion, essentially. Mm-hmm. And I guess like the challenge then becomes, as you grow and you start putting out more content, then that requires more resources. But hopefully, you reach a level where you can kind of sustain yourself and sustain your growth.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the biggest example for fans to look at, I mean, the conversations are being had right now. ESPN is preparing to entertain this idea of a merger with Warner Brothers Media, and and I'm almost positive that's going to enter lawsuit territory at some point from the point of a monopoly. But we'll see what happens there. But it's not even just them, right? There are other major streaming platforms that are looking at mergers, and it's because again they can't. The beauty of being a small company in a big space like this, like sports in general, is that you can move in directions that big corporations can't, right? So like, it's amazing to me Apple TV didn't try to do what SB Nation did and just when they closed their doors, bring all those people over to MLS, right? Bring all those people over to Apple TV and try to offer some high quality content, whether it's written or video, to every fan base you possibly can. It's a missed opportunity, especially considering how much they spent and how much they were actually like putting the clubs on the hook for in terms of content. I feel like those who are already doing it don't teach, a club who's never done it to do it. I mean, you just go to the people who are already doing it and give them resources, right? And I think that's a small win for GOLZTV. If we can continue to offer value to those content creators who are already, like in your guys' case, building Houston fans up, right? And giving them the content and the knowledge base they need to watch the matches, know what they're watching, know who to look out for, have those conversations at the pub afterward, all of those things, right? Like that's all part of the fan experience, but they need the knowledge and the content to do it. And I feel like legacy media is almost solely fixated on big media rights, right? Getting the next MLS broadcast deal, getting the next Premier League broadcast deal, whatever it may be, that they know for a fact that type of exclusive content will bring them long-term revenue, which means that, those individual content creators who are doing a fantastic job of bringing fans to the game don't get the love, right? They don't get the investment from legacy media. So I feel like a platform like ours does now finally have a real chance to create something that MLS sickos are going to love, man. And not even just them, but I would say the new fans that we're going to bring over with us, that they're going to love and that they're going to find easy to use and find their next favorite content creator on. That's the beauty of this platform, right? Is we want to be that place for fans. And I think that's the one advantage we have when you compare us to some of those big players out there, is that they don't have the opportunity to fixate on small individual fan bases. They have to go after the whole pie or nothing. And so yeah, we'll try to use it to our advantage the best we can.
No, yeah, and you mentioned Apple, and for me, like just after the first year of the deal, I still think there's like a missed opportunity with them, and I feel like that's like the edge, to an extent, the edge that GOLZTV has over them, and it's just like the content. And I feel like they have like all the tools they have to just make MLS successful when it comes to like creating meaningful content, and I feel like there's missed opportunities. Obviously, they spent a lot of resources creating the MLS 360 and just the production costs. I'm sure they're expensive too, but the one thing that I've noticed a lot is they've been sharing like a lot of content through like the Apple News app,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's a missed opportunity because they have that also Apple Podcasts. They can just like create like their own original content there as well, and GOLZTV just pretty much has that because they have like the coverage of the fans. There's like an independent, pretty much just like that type of independent coverage that won't be available on Apple because at the end of the day it would just be like really uh probably just like a mouthpiece of the league, just to say what they wanted instead of like what the fans or like what that market is actually experiencing. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's the edge they're always going to have regardless of what Apple does with MLS. And also like you just mentioned like the advantages of like what GOLZTV is trying to do down the road. And honestly, like if it goes out to like some sort of Twitch con, that would be insane, honestly. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. And those are some pretty good long term goals, and obviously something we're hoping for. But when it comes to like short term goals, because like at one point we were talking about like monetization and all that potentially,
Mm-hmm.
and we see platforms like Twitch and YouTube trying to like integrate this membership programs either like monthly, like a monthly thing, or just like a one time thing. Really, do you feel like at some point down the road, like other aside from that as well, would you feel like any short term goals like can serve as an advantage for content creators that are being considered for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned monetization because it's something that we've been having a lot of conversations of in this first quarter of the year, right? I think that's the first major goal that we have to get to in 2024 is monetization. And long term, we have a few different ways we want to do it. We're not going to try to get to everything at once, right? Because I think that there's a subscription revenue opportunity, there's a programmatic ad revenue opportunity, there's even an experiential revenue opportunity that we can kind of build into this. But at the end of the day, I think personally, we want Goals TV long term to feel like a tried and true membership. Something that I don't think platforms like even Twitch TV or Kick or some of these other platforms out there that offer subscriptions to individual users to follow their favorite creators. I think it can be done a little better and with more value offered to the end user, even if their favorite creator isn't on the platform. So there's a lot that we are working on there. But I would say I don't. And again, you can kind of quote me on this or not quote me on this, but I think by summer, by the end of Q2, right, which would be end of June, I believe we'll be in a real position to roll out in a very formal way monetization in some form or capacity on Goals TV to support every creator who's uploading to Goals TV. And I don't believe that we will do it in a way that prevents certain creators from monetizing. And what I mean by that is there are on other platforms, right, certain metrics you have to hit to qualify for monetization. On Twitch, it's affiliate status. On YouTube, it's partner status. There's just these tiers and buckets to what monetization really means on those platforms. I think initially the only sort of bar or quality bar that we might have creators maintain in order to qualify would just be the consistency of the content, right? Meaning they're uploading on a regular basis and they're bringing soccer content to our platform, and we know it's high quality because we reached out and brought them to Goals TV. I think that's probably going to be it, right? Because at the end of the day, we know they're committed. We know that they're not going anywhere. I think that's some of the fear is if we start to offer monetization to a creator who's only been doing this for a few months, they may pack up and just decide they don't want to do a podcast anymore, or they don't want to do a fan channel anymore. And we don't, not that we don't want to showcase that part of this world that we live in, right? But it does happen. And we just want to make sure that if we're offering that to certain creators, that they're as invested in growing the game as we are, right? That's the only thing. So that will come very, very soon. And what it will do is when we decide to fully launch that aspect of our monetization plan, it will start to lead to other revenue funnels that we believe will allow creators to feel like they can create some kind of a living for themselves here. And with that said, traffic still has to pick up, right? I think since bringing our new platform to market when we got off our old tech, moved over to our new tech that we have today, which is like in Thanksgiving time. Since then, I think we've aggregated somewhere near 10K views or in between 10 to 15K views on the platform holistically in the last couple months to a few months. So we got to tick that number up. I think the magic number for us to hit in a single month would be 10,000. And that'll put us in a position where we can start offering advertisers some real value, right? So we're not far from that number, which is why I'm predicting that by summer we will be there and we'll be able to not just bring in or offer creators monetization, but do so in a way that also offers value to advertisers who want to get in front of this soccer specific audience here in North America. So there's a lot coming. Long term, I kind of walked through already some of those things that we want to do. It honestly, these problems that we have to solve keep me up at night. But that's okay, right? I think that I'm made for this. I feel like this is something that I really want to dedicate my life to. I think worst case scenario, right? If GOLZTV somehow 10, 15 years down the road just wasn't a thing anymore, I feel like I would have got a chance to collaborate and work alongside so many other fans just like me that I'm not going to regret any of this. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give it my all. It's already gotten a little bit of traction already. I'm excited for where it's going. But make no mistake, we got a long way to go. And that's why we need fans and creators like yourselves kind of behind us and giving us feedback so that we can make this thing the best it possibly can be.
Man, well, we look forward to jumping on board, and like you said, we do Dynamo, we do Dash, we do Dose, we do English, we Spanish. We have a young writer who is trying to get out there and just pop as many articles as he can, and you never know what the evolution of Foxtrot is, and we may have something new coming in the future as well. But man, so. We're going to try to hold it down on this side, or stay holding, as they say now, on the back of the jersey. But, but yeah, man. So
I love it.
Look forward to it, bro.
Hell yeah, man. And look, you guys are doing a great job. Like I said, and you guys and listeners, you guys already know Foxtrot Media is doing their thing. And I would say when it comes to creators on GOLZTV, they're offering more on the platform than a lot of the other creators are. And that's not a knock at anybody else, right? That's just a fact. And like I said, when I had a chance to have the conversation with Andres, it was like I really was, with everything you guys are doing, I really was just trying to pitch myself the GOLZTV idea and hope that it stuck. And I'm really glad that it did. I'm really glad we got a chance to work together. I got a feeling that this is going to be a big year for both of us.
Oh yeah, and the thing that I really like about GOLZTV now is just like the way the platform has been updated, or just like really just like the amount of integrations. Because the one thing that I really like about it is that it definitely makes it easier to just upload videos instead of just like uploading the whole thing again to like a separate form. And also the articles, just to have everything like in one place, which I feel like it's definitely helpful for everyone else that posts those types of articles. And but yeah, it's just like I'm really looking forward to the growth of the platform over time. I feel like even though growth has been pretty slow when it comes to view counts and all that, I feel like it's gonna get better from here, especially with like the amount of creators that join over time, and just the teams that are being covered as well. Jose, like, thank you so much. And the one thing that I want to everyone, if you want to let everyone know, like, how to reach out to you or how to get it to GOLZTV.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for anybody who wants to follow me specifically, and which means that if you do, you're probably just a fan of North American soccer or FC Dallas or anybody else that I tweet about. Yeah, you can follow me on just about all socials at It's Bromigo. I put it in my title of my name for the show. You can follow me there, but I would say, look, if you guys even just follow GOLZTV or check it out for a second, I would be immensely grateful. That's GOLZ.TV. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. If it sucks, tell me it sucks. I mean, I have no problem kind of going back and retooling things. But I got a feeling if you're a soccer fan, it's going to be pretty cool to see a platform that's bringing all of these creators, this soccer fandom and community to one place. And if you don't, maybe you're not a soccer fan. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm really grateful for all the creators who have decided to work with us in some form or fashion. Really grateful to Foxtrot Media. Go follow them. Go subscribe to them if you're not doing so already. Go check out their other forms of content. I think they're fantastic, and look out for a lot more content from both of us in 2024.
Bro, I'm right there with you, man. I look forward to checking out. Not. It's not like I've been there. This is my first time, but I look out checking the website, checking out other content creators, and learn. As you may know, instant ramen we do on the side where we're interviewing the opponents. I like to check out the opponents and talk to the opponents and know who we're playing when they come up. As you'll see in the future, as we'll have you personally on when friggin' Frisco comes to plays Houston. So we'll figure that out in the future. But man, we look forward to it, and just the opportunity to work with each other and to just to bring soccer content out there to not just people in Houston, but to people out there all over wherever you're at. Because I see it's not just Northern America you have content in. You're kind of all over the place, and you're talking about soccer worldwide. So it's a great opportunity, and if everything works out for both sides, and we'll be collabing at those conventions, like you said, and
hell yeah.
Throw money on the table.
There might be that opportunity in 2024. We'll see. But either way, man, like I said, there's a lot more banter coming, a lot more content coming. We got to do a Texas focused episode at some point. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, man, I mean, if you guys ever want to chat soccer, GOLZTV, or again, just MLS in general, man, I'm always your guy. So don't hesitate to reach out at any point. And that goes for anybody who's listening too. I love having these talks. You want to have me on for anything, by all means, please feel free.
Yeah, Jose, thank you so much. And as for everyone else watching this or listening, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, stay royal.
H is up.